Let's talk about you and your career, but let's go back to when you weren't a coach and when you were a player, because you had a pretty good time up at Newcastle, didn't you, getting all that glory?
No, it was a special time. I think, you know, Sir John Hall had a vision, and Rob Andrew followed it through, and he brought a lot of us in. But I think the biggest thing when we came in on it is they made it very clear on what we wanted to do, and I think a lot of lessons I've learnt along the way was around the off-the-field stuff, the camaraderie, the real bondings, becoming real close as mates. And you know, I think we went straight from the championship, got promoted, and then we had a great season and won it. But it was some great memories, and guys I still stay in touch with. Dean Ryan there is a good man.
Yeah, there are worse places to learn about camaraderie than out and about in Newcastle, right? I would have thought. I'm just guessing.
Well, I did get a shock, and my wife got a shock too. There seems to be no coats in the middle of winter at night. But it was some great people up there, and still very good friends up there.
Yeah, tell us about your time at Saints then, because that was obviously a very successful period as well. When
I didn't plan on even going to the Saints. I was enjoying Newcastle, but I got sold by Rob to Ian McGeechan, and at the time it was disappointing, but it was actually a blessing in disguise. And Geech was unbelievable. Mentored me as a player, but also into coaching. And but that whole time at Northampton, again, they were struggling a lot, and I didn't know why they were struggling, because from afar, because they had so many good players. But when we got in there, we realised the team wasn't as one.
Okay.
And Geech had asked me to try and help with bringing everything together. And
did you take them out for a few nights out in Newcastle? Or did that?
I did take it after one of the games, but there was a lot of work that we did, and just made sure if we're going to do something, we all do it, whether the academy or not. And again, we got on. We built that whole culture as a group. There were so many guys stepped in and made a bit more sacrifice, and obviously won the first trophy for Northampton.
Absolutely. We got some questions for you actually from Casey Hurst, who is an 11-year-old rugby fan, and she's written some questions in from us. Okay. When you first arrived, sorry, just reading it to myself just to make sure I could read. Okay. When you first arrived at Bristol, what did you want to change, and what was good already?
I think I believe a lot of people were there, but the vision was really important, and that was the first question I had to ask Steve Lansdowne and Chris Boyd, the chairman. What do you want to achieve? And they spoke about community, about rugby success. And so we made it very clear, inspiring our community through rugby success. And once you got that, then we can change the mindset. Because all I keep hearing are, we've got to get up and we've got to survive, and which is not really the right mindset. It was all about our vision. If we want to be a Champions Cup team, we want players playing for England, because our rugby program is really good, and then Bristolians coming through, we had to become a high-performance team rather than just a social team, which is fine, but we're all here, staff and players, to make sure that we're heading towards that vision, and we're all performing.
Sounds like Casey's the youngest management consultant in the world.
But another thing she wants to know was, are there going to be any additional signings for next season? She asked better questions than me. I know that's not difficult, so just leave it.
We should get her in.
Yeah, recruitment's like Russ, you know, never sleeps. Yeah, it's ongoing, and but you're always looking. You know, there's a lot of players that are available, and they come in before on the table, and you're looking through it. But yeah, you know, I believe in retention is the real key. If you're changing your team all the time, and you want to bring a group through and just add value, and the players like, you know, Pierce O'Connor, Harry Randall, Andy Uren, they're all going to be year 2, year 3 players with me, and that's huge for us, and because they've grown as a group, they bring the whole culture along, the understanding. And then, you know, you add a bit of stardust coming through, like Nathan Hughes, Dave Atwood, they'll bring value to the group. But, you know, it can't be reliant on one particular person. It's a group understanding of what we were trying to go in, and everyone working in that direction.
Pat, you've mentioned something in your mission statement in terms of local guys becoming local heroes. Well, we had a local guy on Rugby Tonight earlier in the season, and we spoke to him about his potential moving back to Bristol, whether he'd be up for it. Have a listen to what Ellis Genge had to say.
We've got the next one from Steve Haywood. Can you see yourself playing for Bristol Bears again?
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
What?
On that bombshell.
Really?
Bristol's home for me, all my family there. I miss them a lot. And as opposed to tail end of my career, going to France or Japan, luckily, if I make it there, I'd like to go to Bristol, yeah, as opposed to somewhere else.
Okay, well, there's
This
Ellis
guess,
Genge.
yeah.
He's not a bad player. He's a local lad, potential local superstar, England international, the kind of player that you'd be looking for.
Oh, without a doubt, there's a lot of class players there, and that are available when you go through. And
Would you be keen on signing Ellis Genge? Because he sounds like he's keen to come to Bristol.
yeah, no, of course, but everything comes back to salary cap and working out the whole balance of the squad. Because again, everyone has their price that you're told, but when you're looking after recruitment, you got to make good decisions based on the whole squad, not based on putting it all in one area. And you got to look at what we need. Would we like Ellis Genge to come home? Of course we would.
Is that the toughest part of your job? Not bringing the players in, but getting rid of players, because I'd imagine as a director of rugby, well, look, there's no nice way of putting it, is there? Or
right.
sending players on their way.
Without a doubt, who stays, who goes, who plays, who does it. It is, but as being a player that's come through it, the one thing I always look, what do I want? You just want complete honesty, and you want clarity. You want to know what are we trying to do? What do you want of me? And then I can judge my performance on that. And I always say to the players, and is I always try to keep relationship away from selection or performance. And I'll always, and that's why we shake hands. We build that relationship here. But ultimately, my role is to make sure that the people are performing, and we're trying to help them to perform. And if someone else is performing better, normally the players know straight away. So as long as you're honest and truth and base, it is hard.
Because you form bonds with these players, and
without a doubt. But one of the toughest jobs we have is that when we get sacked, the players will just move to the next coach. So it keeps reality that I'm paid and responsibility to make sure that team is successful. And you got to make sure you're surrounded by good people in management, good people in players. But all of us have the same thing, including myself. We have to make sure we're at the best of our performance.
Okay, big question. How important is it for you, if not this season, it might still happen this season, but next term to finish top 6? Is that the aim now and moving forward for the foreseeable?
It was the team goal, but we put 3 key things that we want to be. Once we're inspiring our community for rugby success is the big vision, but the 3 main things for the pro team is that we want to be known as a Champions Cup team. We want players playing for England and Bristolians coming through. So to put that in place, and those are the things that we're aiming for. So why do we have a Charles Piutau, a Luatua, a Foa? Because those boys bring that experience to that level. Why have we signed? When I arrived, we had 50% English players. We've now got 75%, and that's because that's part of our vision. And then we bring in a big investment into our academy and schools to bring these guys through.